Ready to break free from algorithms, vanity PR, and money-sucking ads? My name's Larissa Wurstiak, and I've learned in 8 years of jewelry marketing that content is the crown jewel. My agency, Joya, takes a holistic approach, leading with laser-focused storytelling, impactful content creation, and strategic content distribution. This method has worked for the solopreneur as well as the multi-million-dollar company, and now I'm sharing the same systems and tactics with you. Here's to standing out in the sea of sparkle. Welcome to episode 309. Today, I'm exploring the subtle yet powerful role of nostalgia in marketing. That warm, nostalgic feeling isn't just about reminiscing. It can be a strategic tool for connecting with your customers on a deeper level. I'll be getting into the psychological impact of nostalgia, identify the nostalgic elements that truly resonate with your audience, and share practical strategies to seamlessly integrate this emotion into your jewelry marketing. No matter what kinds of jewelry products you sell, understanding how to harness nostalgia can help you stand out in a competitive market. So stay with me to see how tapping into these cherished memories can enhance your marketing approach. And in the Goldmine segment, learn why it's crucial for businesses, especially in the jewelry industry, to stay current and avoid appearing outdated in a rapidly changing digital landscape. Yes, I'll talk about that controversial millennial gray aesthetic that's sweeping TikTok and home design, illustrating the risks of not evolving with the times. And I promise you, it has something to do with jewelry marketing. But before we get to the solid gold, I'd like to take a moment to remind you that this podcast has both audio and video, so you can either listen on your favorite podcast platform or watch on YouTube by searching Joya. You can always support the podcast for free by taking the time not only to subscribe, but also to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And if you didn't know, I co-host another podcast called Success with Jewelry with my friend Liz Kantner, who's also a jewelry marketer and the founder of the Stay Gold Collective. We have a free version of the podcast available everywhere you listen to podcasts as well as on YouTube. And we also have a membership community with extended episodes and additional resources. And for the sparklers out there who are specifically small jewelry business owners, I want to tell you about a jewelry marketing platform that we built just for you. Joydeck is an affordable marketing solution for small and emerging jewelry brands. It's full of one-of-a-kind tools like our kickoff checklist and audience building quiz that give you clear strategic steps to reach customers and grow your brand. Our jewelry-specific content calendar keeps you accountable and ensures you never run out of things to post. Joydeck's ever-growing library of email and social templates are shortcuts that save time, look professional, and get results. Monthly masterclasses by me, exclusive to the Joydeck community, give you the opportunity to ask questions and learn from my experience directly. Plus, you'll have the support of an exclusive online community of jewelry creators just like you. Joydeck is the affordable solution to take control of your jewelry brand's future, and I'm so proud to be your guide along the way. So if you're ready to try it and you're ready to start growing, sign up for your free trial. Get 30 days on me by visiting myjoydeck.com/trial. Link in the show notes as well. Okay, let's get into today's episode, my sparklers. Loyal listeners and viewers already know how crucial emotions and storytelling are in marketing. But if you're just joining us for the first time or you're new here, well, first of all, welcome. But here's what's up. In jewelry marketing, emotions are powerful drivers of decision-making. When customers feel a connection, engagement, or even a hint of nostalgia, they're more likely to develop positive associations with your product, increasing the likelihood of a purchase. Nostalgia, with its profound emotional appeal, can be a hidden gem for jewelry marketers when it's harnessed correctly. So what exactly is nostalgia marketing? It's a strategy that uses memories from the past to forge a sense of comfort and trust in the present, often sparking that spontaneous, "I remember this" reaction that can lead to a sale. This approach is particularly effective in the jewelry industry where, as you know, pieces tell a story, and even your collections can directly or indirectly evoke memories of the past. And nostalgia marketing doesn't have to mean being overtly retro. So you don't need to sell vintage jewelry or plaster your visuals with 90s themes to tap into the nostalgic trend. It can be much more subtle and nuanced. And I'm going to share some less obvious ways to incorporate nostalgia into your marketing, giving you some innovative tips to subtly evoke those warm, nostalgic feelings. And just a side note, for this, you don't have to create any new products. You just need to be able to creatively speak about your existing products. So by using out-of-the-box merchandising strategies, you can really evoke this sense of nostalgia and emotional depth without the need for new products or collections. And this approach really maximizes your current inventory while deeply engaging emotions. So let's dive into some examples. First, there's kind of the more obvious one, and that's considering the really long history of jewelry and adornment. I mean, people have been wearing jewelry for a very long time. There's deep spiritual, cultural, emotional, traditional meanings behind adornment and why people wear jewelry. And so, given all of that history and all the ways that people feel about and connect with adornment, there's so many entry points into storytelling just with that alone. So use your existing products. Maybe they showcase traditional or old world craftsmanship techniques. Maybe they're inspired by ways that people have worn jewelry in the past. As I said, jewelry has a long, long history. And so if you're doing any of those things, honor them, highlight them. I want to know about them. Your customers want to know about them. So highlight these artisanal, traditional aspects through storytelling in your product descriptions, blog posts, or social media content. One thing I see a lot on social media, especially when it comes to more indie jewelry designers, like they either go on a trip to a faraway place, like say Istanbul, or they go to a really unique museum display where they connect with relics, artifacts of the past, and it inspires something in their present. I want more of that. I think people have a really deep emotional connection to the past, and it brings up so many things in a subjective way for different people. So make sure you're talking about those things. Next, there's also heritage storytelling. So your brand, whether it's young, whether it's a legacy brand, I want you to tell the history with as much as you have available, even if it's just 6 months worth of history. And don't make it so specific and personal to you, but tell the history in a way that can be relatable to universal themes, significant historic events, feelings that the customers might connect with. So even though you're telling your own history, make it less about you and why it should matter to the person who's reading it. So maybe, for example, you can discuss how you were inspired to make jewelry because they were a part of your family tradition. And of course, that's really personal to you, but bring your customer into that feeling and help them relate to it. Like maybe you're connecting with them and their memories of jewelry in their family. Find ways to always engage and bring in and make it less about you. Or maybe it's about broader cultural moments. Like I know a lot of jewelry brands, contemporary independent jewelry brands were born during the pandemic. And that was a very difficult time for a lot of people. And many of these makers, these designers have very personal stories, personal motivations about why that particular period of time sparked the move to start making jewelry. And I hear this so much. So yes, that's very personal. And yes, it's about you. but a lot of us live through that too. So how can you connect that to something that other people would remember? Even though it's not the most pleasant memory, there are certainly silver lining elements of it, and bringing out those aspects and allowing people a chance to have a moment of reflection. Those are so powerful, and those are the special places where your customers will connect with you. It's very hard to explain. It's very intangible, but it's in those moments where you have a chance to get a loyal audience member. Maybe you even in this process of telling this story, invite your customers to contribute their own stories related to the themes or periods that you're highlighting, and then you can reshare those on your platforms. This helps build a sense of community and shows that the brand really values your customers' heritage as much as its own. Another way you can tap into nostalgia is emphasizing the fact that jewelry is, by its nature, symbolic of relationships, symbolic of tradition, and symbolic of how we see and present ourselves to the world. And so you can leverage your existing jewelry collections to celebrate the diversity of relationships through merchandising. So maybe you have a thematic collection that represents relationship milestones like anniversaries, engagements, even friendship celebrations, using pieces you think symbolize these moments. Maybe you can create sets that friends and family members can combine to reflect their bonds, and highlighting these groupings through your online merchandising strategies. And don't forget the relationships that people have with themselves. So self-gifting, self-splurging, self-love, encouraging customers to celebrate that relationship they have with themselves using jewelry that symbolizes personal growth or achievement. Maybe you want to think about commemorative tokens that help people remember their loved ones, even their pets, even the special memory that they had, like a memorable trip that they took. So offering a means of remembrance through your existing product line is a way to bring nostalgia into your marketing and merchandising. And these initiatives can really take your shopping experience to the next level without even you having to develop new products or new products. So that's pretty cool. It's just like a different way of storytelling. Another way to tap into nostalgia is to bring a sense of simplicity and ease into your customers' lives. So think about ways you can make your adult customers' lives easier in some way, because we remember back when we were children, we were teens, even young adults. Maybe we had fewer responsibilities, some more free time. Maybe we were more imaginative. And those times evoke a sense of ease, joy, and freedom. And you want to know what's cool about shopping for jewelry when you have the means to do so? It's an imaginative, explorative adventure, and it should be fun, and it should be pretty and joyful. And if you can emphasize that, just the nature of that shopping experience alone can make you feel like you're back in a time, in a place where life was simple and life was easy. Doesn't that sound pretty great? Also, nature-inspired designs. So if you do have pieces, I'm not saying you have to create new pieces, but if you do have more nature-inspired, earth-inspired looks, or a brand story where nature plays a role in that, people have a lot of positive, nostalgic memories about being in the natural world. Being outside brings such visceral feelings for many people. So highlight those nature-inspired pieces, anything that features natural elements or motifs. And hey, it could even be a story you tell about gold or about diamonds or other gemstones, connecting people to the beauty and wonder of the natural world. So that's kind of a more out of the box way to tap into nostalgia. Also, textures. Almost everyone has a really positive memory featuring something tactile, whether it's like petting their soft kitten or wrapping yourself in your favorite blanket or the touch of a loved one. And we often forget that jewelry is so tactile. Of course, it doesn't feel like a kitten, or at least I don't know any jewelry that does. But bringing the tactile nature out, whether it's through close-up detailed photography, descriptions of the texture, all those things can help someone feel a sense of comfort, a sense of the past, because you're connecting on such a sensory level. Of course, there are also universal symbols that can help us tap into a sense of nostalgia. So identify and promote any existing pieces you have that feature universal symbols. And I'm talking about things like hearts, peace signs, infinity symbols, religious symbols, and then educate your customers on the meanings and significance of these symbols through content, because not everyone might even know what certain symbols mean. Even the hearts, like we very much take that for granted. Obviously, everyone knows what a heart is, but why is your brand making hearts? What does it mean to you? Why do you feel the need to sell hearts? I think you can put a spin on it. Tell why that symbolism is important to you. So group the jewelry by symbol type, tell a story that's beyond the generic, and customers will resonate with that, perhaps from a place of nostalgia. So that's my last tip. What do you think? Have you ever tried to use nostalgia in your marketing? Let me know in a comment on YouTube or DM me on Instagram what you think. I'd love to help. All right, let's get into the gold mine. This is a segment of the podcast where I share insights on entrepreneurship, mindset, success, growth, and all things business. In this week's gold mine, I want to talk about gray floors. Yes, you heard me right. I sometimes browse Zillow to check out real estate listings. It's a fun scroll. Have you ever done that and come across millennial gray? It's quite the trend now. And to be quite honest, I'm not a fan of it. So if you're not aware, I promise this has to do with jewelry marketing. So just hold on tight. Millennial gray is a design choice that floods homes with various shades of gray to create a uniform monochromatic look. And it's been really popular for the past few years. It's gained traction on platforms like TikTok, apparently among millennials for some reason. And you would know it when you see it. I really don't like it. And after you look at Zillow and you see enough homes decked out in millennial gray, you start to wonder if something's wrong with your eyesight, because suddenly the world has lost all its color. So anyway, why am I griping about this? Well, it just seems outdated already. And think about 5 years from now, and you walk into a millennial gray house, it will really feel like it's of a certain time. And for that reason, it kind of already does seem outdated because it's so connected to whatever, the 2020s, let's say. And that's what people talk about when they talk about dated versus timeless. This trend really reminds me like when you kind of see people out and about who look like they haven't updated their wardrobe since the 80s. Maybe something that's a cool retro vibe. It does definitely stand out. And none of these things are an issue if you genuinely love them. I mean, if you love millennial gray, go for it. If you want to be stuck in the 80s, that's totally fine too. But if you're a jewelry business, this is where I bring it back. Stick with me. If you're a jewelry business and you're selling jewelry in 2024 and you're aiming to attract contemporary customers, if you inadvertently appear outdated, that's a problem. We're in a really fast evolving digital age, and trends and platforms are changing faster than ever before. And kind of like a Zillow listing that has its already outdated looking millennial gray, I notice a lot of jewelry brands that also look outdated, and I'm not sure they even realize it. What are some ways they look dated? Well, maybe their Instagram strategy is still relying just on single photo posts, and they're using Instagram trends and best practices from 5 years ago. Or maybe they haven't bothered to refresh their e-commerce site in the past 5 years, and so it looks kind of stale and basic, and it hasn't adapted to best practices in e-commerce. Maybe they have really outdated branding elements like a logo that looks like it's from 10 years ago and hasn't really kept pace with modern aesthetics. Or your marketing materials use jargon or styles or looks that just have kind of fallen out of favor. I'm not talking about keeping up with trends here, because I don't think you should be evolving your brand and your marketing to keep up with trends. I think that's a bad strategy. What I'm talking about here is maintaining your vision, your strategy, your identity, but feeling fresh and like you're in tune with the present moment. Because as I said, things change so rapidly that it's kind of easy to do nothing to your marketing for 3 years and suddenly look millennial gray. So what do you think about that? Could your business possibly be looking a little bit dated without you even realizing it? I know it's really harder than ever before to stay on top of looking fresh as a business, but I would love to know your perspective. So let me know in an Instagram DM or YouTube comment. If you want to reach out, you can always email me Larissa. That's LARYSSA @joyjoya.com. And if you love this podcast, please share it with a friend who'd appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe as well as leave a review on Apple Podcasts. If you're completely new to digital marketing, then you'll want to purchase and read a copy of my book, Jewelry Marketing Joy. Visit joyjoya.com/book for more information.